Hi, I'm Chris Hendershot with Allegheny Health Network Prehospital Care Services. We're coming to you live from Studio 51 at EMS Update 2024. We're up here at Seven Springs on the Mountain. We're enjoying the conference. We have a couple guests with you to share today. So with me today is Chloe and Paige. They're from our AHN Chill Project. Chloe and Paige, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We really appreciate you being up here and interacting with the EMS providers. So if I'm watching right now, I'll probably be like, what is the Chill Project? Can you tell us a little bit of what AHN Chill Project is, when it started, and what does it do?
Yeah. So AHN Chill Project started in 2019. We started in 2 schools, and now we're in over 30. And then what we really focus on is we use evidence-based coping skills, and we use those with students, staff, teachers, and anybody in the community to help them cope through stress management, study skills, care issues, home issues, things like that. We really focus.
Okay. So do you think it's been successful? Obviously it's expanded, but do you think it's really making an impact, especially with the student?
Yeah, we can definitely see an impact. You can notice even in the classroom that I'm in, students come in, maybe they need a little bit of help, but then maybe 2 weeks later, they're like, hey, I'm able to do this on my own before coming to chill room.
Okay. So I know, especially as you've been within our booth and interacting with providers, one thing I keep hearing about is stress management. So what does the Chill Project utilize with stress management and dealing with those that you impact?
We really focus, like Paige had mentioned, on those evidence-based coping skills. So those skills that have been studied and have been shown to have a really positive impact on the way that people react to stress. We've really seen, like Paige has mentioned, and within my school, that really positive impact on the entire school community. And like you mentioned, the Chill Project is expanding so rapidly. We are so grateful to be here with our pop-up AHN Chill Room. And we're just loving the opportunity to bring what we work on within those school communities to the broader communities and really meet people that we're serving where they're at. So we're so excited to be here.
Well, no, we very much appreciate you being here. Being obviously the impact you make within the schools and the expansion you guys are going through. A lot of people may be asking, why here? Why are you with us? But how do you think stress management can benefit EMS providers? The whole reason why we brought you guys up here this week.
Yeah. It can benefit EMS providers because stress management coping skills, at the end of the day, we all need to have coping skills. We tend to think where's your glass at? Is it full? Is it half empty? Where are you at? And then these coping skills, we kind of bring it down before it overflows. So being able to have those skills to be able to just kind of mitigate it overflowing and being able to bring it down. Chloe actually has some experience in her school. They have EMS students. So Chloe can even speak on that too.
So I'm very grateful to serve the population of Parkway West Career Technology Center. And within that school community, we have a public safety class. So it's really been a fantastic opportunity to begin dismantling that stigma and take away the idea that we can't talk about mental health within this field. And they've been very receptive to the supports and skills that I'm able to offer. And we're really able to, again, get ahead of that stigma and help them process after they've gone on a ride along or after they've experienced some of the things that EMS workers experience on the field every day. So really teaching them that they're not alone in this and that it's absolutely okay to talk about mental health and how to process. So I think stress management has been key with that population.
No, 100% agree. I mean, a lot of the times, something you mentioned was the cup spilleth over. It's something we referred to as well. For those watching right now, there's a lot of times traumatic events we see, they get cataloged, and then it could be something as easy as a commercial sets us off. So you mentioned coping skills. Being that we're EMS, we're emergency medical services, we're out there in the field, we're obviously not within the school district. What kind of coping skills could EMS providers utilize to kind of de-stress or have those, if they're having that anxiousness, what can they do?
Yeah, and I'd like to start with a disclaimer. Paige and I chatted about this morning, is before we started working at Chill, we were like, when is deep breathing ever going to serve me? So I like to start this conversation off with that, participation is so highly encouraged, right? This skill that you might not have thought in 1,000 years would work for you might be that one pain-changing thing you're able to do on a scene or on a call that just completely turns your day around, allows you to process more appropriately on the scene. So I think one of the things Paige and I really drive home with our students we work with the teachers we work with, is deep breathing. Because that really helps us process that fight or flight that we get into in those traumatic and those stressful situations. And just by taking that one deep breath in through the nose for 4 seconds, we hold it for 4 seconds, and out through the mouth for 4 seconds, we're able to re-engage that thinking part of our brain and allow us to think through the consequences of our actions, think through how to more appropriately navigate a situation. So that's one I always go to because it doesn't require a lot of time or a lot of resources. It's really adaptable to what you need at that moment.
Yeah.
Would both of you recommend maybe practices like that need to be practiced before you need it? So there's a lot of times, especially in our industry, it's a moment's notice, the pound is dropped, we're off. But something with that breathing practice, is that something they should be practicing before you need it so you know you have it in the toolbox for it?
Yeah, absolutely. We recommend to, again, the communities we serve and support, it's so important to practice those skills in those moments of calm because our brains oftentimes, when we're in those stressful situations, we don't have the capacity to think through like, what works for me? Like, it's just not realistic in those moments, especially as EMS providers. So we really recommend identifying those things in moments of calm. And then Paige can kind of talk to like building your toolbox and making sure we have variety with those coping skills.
And like coping skills too, I always think of like what is going to help you kind of get back to your baseline, like where you feel calm, you're not anxious, like overthinking everything. One thing too that like we recommend is like maybe like if you've had a really hard day, write it like in a notebook and then just kind of like get all of those thoughts out like before you go to bed. So sometimes that really helps. You can leave the paper in there, you can rip it up, whatever you think like is going to help you in that moment, crumple it up. Sometimes just getting those thoughts out of the day is really going to help like be able to just kind of take that breather of like, okay, it's not on a piece of paper. It's not in my brain anymore. Now you got to let back. And then just being able to like talk to friends, talk to family, get extra support if you need it. Having those people that you feel that you can debrief with after a situation and just kind of have those people to talk to. Like, I know sometimes when I have hard days, I talk to Chloe, even though we're not the same goals, like she's somebody that I feel that I'm comfortable with and can talk to. So even just having that in your environment is a really big coping skill.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up in the environment. I know as I reflect on everything you're sharing with my profession. A lot of times my partners that I work with, I have an established rapport with, we think without even having to speak. So a lot of times they became my vent source after a call. And it's no disrespect to my wife, as I'm sure she's watching this. She's definitely my support as well. But sometimes that initial vent needs to go to a provider that understands us. So it sounds like with all the coping skills that you're giving, kind of having that debrief after, it really does make that difference versus clamming up, not talking about it, and moving on to the next.
Yeah. And I think we're seeing just in recent years this huge shift in public awareness of mental health and the conversations that we're having. So also another thing to keep in mind is it doesn't feel natural if we're just starting out, right? So like we get students and teachers, they're time processing and talking about emotions. So as individuals are starting to incorporate these coping skills or talking more about mental health, like it's completely normal for that to feel maybe awkward or not natural at first. But like Paige said, starting with a journal and being able to get those thoughts out and just so they're not sitting in our heads, taking up as much space. The more you practice, the more effective they become, the more natural, the more comfortable we are with them. Yeah. And I really think as we start this conversation, like with podcasts like these, with having this pop-up AHN Chill Room, we'll be able to normalize those conversations. We got help them feel a little bit more natural.
100% agree. Again, I thank you both for being up here with us. Before we go, is there a best means that people could reach out and contact you that are maybe looking at this to maybe understand or learn a little more?
I think if you look up just AHN, Allegheny Health Network Chill Project, our director, Dr. Will Davies, his email, his contact information is out there. So he would be the best person to contact for further information. And we're always happy to talk to people about the AHN Chill Project. We're so passionate about the work that we do. And we really love to see that people we support are getting something from these coping skills and these conversations. So we're always open for conversation.
All right. Well, I thank you both for being with us. As we go ahead and close out, again, reminding you, we're coming from EMS Update live at Studio 51 on the floor. Chloe and Paige are going to be with us for the remainder of the vendor session today until 4 o'clock. But I have a feeling as we go forward, we're going to see a lot more interaction between ourselves and Prehospital Care Services. We hope to see you later on today. Please be safe. Take a chance, like and share this post. Catch you all soon. Thank you.